Springtime in Montana is one of my favorite seasons. As soon as I start seeing that balsam root blooming in the lupin, I know it's time to go chase bears. I'm a die-hard elk hunter. It's my #1 thing I love the most, but these bears are just incredible predators, and they'll come on in, and this time of year, our elk calves and deer fawns are popping out all over, and these bears are creeping around, running all over the hillsides, looking for an easy meal. That is why we have a spring season here in Montana for bears, is to try to reduce the bear numbers so we have less predation on these deer and elk. Helicopter's flying right now looking for calf elk, and that's the same reason we're up here, is we're looking for bears that are looking for calf elk. So hopefully we can help these calves survive a little longer, help out the biologist, and hopefully fill the freezer with some good bear meat. One of my favorite things about Western wall tents is that with their frames, they have these eye bolts you can hang stuff from, and it also locks down your frame so you don't have any problems with wind or anything like that taking your frame apart. These eye bolts make it a really solid structure when you're able to tighten them down like that. Don't need to worry about the wind pulling the tent apart. My buddy Jared was finally able to come back up here with me and be able to do a little bit of hunting. This time, instead of having him behind the gun, he was behind the camera and chasing me around. He's been a good buddy for a long time, lived together in college, able to do a bunch of hunts in the past, and now he's finally up here running around and showing me all of his camera skills.
It's getting a little windy out here and we don't have any stakes.
Let's start grabbing some logs quick. Grab the rest of that stuff and get inside. It's gonna rain. We're inside. We found a perfect spot on a ridge to put up our western wall tent, and wouldn't you know it, as soon as we got the tent set up and we're shoveling in our lumberjack gear, here comes the storm. Started raining cats and dogs. The lightning and thunder started popping all around us. We had to jump back into the truck a few times before we could finally get camp set. Well, got her set up just in the nick of time. Rain just started coming on us, and it's coming down pretty good, lightning all around us. Feel like we're a lightning rod up here with the metal frame, but I think we'll be all right. Hopefully this passes over and clear up for the evening. Perfect evening for bears. It sounds like it's supposed to clear up, so we'll take the rain. Hopefully these bears will get ready to come on out, and hopefully we can get us a calf killer and get rid of one of these bears. Now we're getting hail. This is crazy. I don't know how we're going to find a bear in something like this. Thank God for the western wall tent. As soon as the storm passed, it turned to be beautiful. The clouds lifted, and we were glassing bears before we knew it.
You gotta love the
Well, the sun's finally popping out on some of these slopes. Hope the bears are starting to move. They should be moving here pretty soon with the weather clearing up. Getting after balsam roots this time of year, and also getting after calves and fawns, so they should be cruising. Just time through the glass, constantly looking through the binos and the spotting scope and making sure you can see what you're looking for. Got a little break in the weather, gonna take a couple shots, make sure the gun's still dialed after traveling. Nookie should have done a great job with it. Hopefully, after we get done shooting here, she starts clearing up, gives us some sunshine and get those bears moving for us. It's nice, those Kelwell targets light up. Dead center. Center punched it. Well, it looks like the Bagara and buffalo bore ammunition with that loop-holed scope sure did the trick this time. Perfect shots at 100 yards, so I think we're all dialed for bear season. So, found one from here the same time last year, about 3.5 miles away. We were able to sneak up and get a beautiful blonde bear last year. Hopefully this year's the same. See what happens.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Buffalo Bore Ammunition, strictly business, and Montana Department of Agriculture reminds you to educate yourself on the harmful effects of noxious weeds.
Why is he so small?
Yeah, he's goofy.
He's got big nubs.
Blunted.
Big body on him. He's gonna have goofy antlers, dude.
Looks older than any of the other ones.
Just heading around looking for bears. We were able to see some amazing things this year. We saw baby fawns all over the place. We actually were able to watch this cow give birth to a calf at about 70 yards. One of the most amazing things I've seen in my life. And then to actually watch that cow go ahead and actually eat her placenta is something that I just couldn't fathom. I knew they did it, but I've never seen it, and it's one of those that just kind of makes your belly churn. It's awesome watching these mothers after they give birth, watching them lick their babies and clean their babies to get rid of all that scent. They'll eat the placenta, getting rid of that scent to try to reduce the predation on their young. And the bears, that's exactly what they're looking for, are these new babies that are just popping out that have the placenta and the blood laying around yet, so they can get in there and have an easy meal. Pretty impressive watching these animals do their thing in nature and watch these moms pop out their newborns, and how protective they are is just incredible. The first couple of weeks that these fawns and calves are dropped on the ground, they're extremely vulnerable. They can't get around nearly good enough to get away from these bears. And these bears are just incredible predators. That is why we have a spring season here in Montana for bears, is to try to reduce the bear numbers so we have less predation on these deer and elk.
Make sure to catch up on seasons 1 and 2 of Montana Full Circle on YouTube, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Well, the rain just let up about 20 yards from camp, and I was glassing, and there's a pile of bear crap right here. So we're gonna keep our eyes peeled and see what's around here. We got tons of slopes to look at. You might jump in the truck and do a little drive and just try to cover a lot of ground with your eyes, walk with your eyes. Smoked him. Little Bear Mountain Lion summer sausage. Eat what you hunt. Great afternoon, finally beautiful. Sit here and eat a sandwich, do a little looking and glassing while we're eating lunch, and
Found another spot. Try to glass some more.
Got to a great spot here. The weather's finally cooperating. Can see a long ways from here. Got the loopholes here just glassing. We got prairie dogs or Columbian ground squirrels chirping all around us, and just looking all over, all kinds of big openings here, just waiting to find that black spot or brown spot, just cruising the mountain. Been seeing plenty of deer and elk already, and just waiting to find that bear now. So looks like we got a pretty good bear here. He's quite a ways away though. He's got to be at least 4 miles away. At least, maybe 7. I mean, he's a long ways away. I can't even judge it right now. Way at the head of this big open green patch. Looks like a pretty good bear. Jet black. This bog pod handgun trigger deal works phenomenal for my spotting scope. Super easy to get on this bear. And this bear's moving now. He's heading towards the timber. I'm gonna keep an eye on him. The one problem with standing up on top of those high ridges like that is you're not just glassing, a 1/4 mile away. We were glassing out to 5 or 6 miles away. And wouldn't you know it, the one bear we finally find is 4.71 miles away. When you start glassing bears that far away, it's just, you gotta be patient to see if they're gonna stick there, because we had about an hour and a half before we could even get to him. Just glass this bear, he's a long ways away. It's starting to get dark. I'm on the fence whether we boogie after him and try to get up to him or wait and see if he comes back out tomorrow. Just trying to figure out what to do. I think we might try to give it a shot. We got a couple hours till dark, and he's kind of hanging in the same spot, just going up and down, eating the balsam root. So I think we better get after it and see if we can make it happen. Optics are your #1 key to finding animals, just like elk hunting. And when we found that bear, we knew we just had to watch him for a little bit, because if he went in that timber, we just never would see him again. He's heading for the timber. So we waited for about 10 minutes, and like we hoped he wouldn't do, he walked into the woods, never to be seen again. Well, it's one of those when you're bear hunting, it's just constantly looking and glassing, picking everything apart, going over something and going back over it again. You just never know when a bear might pop out. One of those where it's patience, but it's beautiful weather, able to sit out here and enjoy the spring, all the flowers. It's what Montana's all about, being able to get out here and just enjoy yourself. We hunted that bear for 2 more days and never did see him again, so we decided to pack up our tent and head on to a different location.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Loophole Optics, Slumberjack, and Bergara.
It's always fun coming to spring bear camp, kind of breaking things up, looking at all the beautiful flowers, seeing the calves and the elk all over the place and the deer. It's just a wonderful time of year to be out and try to save some calves and some fawns. Those bears kind of raise havoc on these fawns and calves this time of year. So we're out here and hopefully going to intercept 1 or 2 of these bears and fill our freezer and maybe get a nice rug for the wall. So it's just a matter of time. Just got to sit behind the binoculars and spotting scope here. Loophole Optics keeps us looking through clear glass. So we're just looking and looking. My buddy Chris I've been hunting with for a while too. He's a great hunter, and he came up to camp, spent some time with us, and able to have some good camaraderie and run around and see if we could find ourselves some bears. So Chris was like, all your bear hunting experience, what's the best time you've come across to see these bears?
I don't think it really matters. Middle of the day, evening, probably seen as many bears at noon as I have right before dark in the evening.
Yeah.
This time of year, they're just kind of cruising around, getting as much food in their belly as they can, coming off of the winter.
And that's it. I think people are like, I never see any bears. It's like, well, you can't go and just look 20 yards away from you. You gotta be, I don't think people realize how much glassing is such a part of the game. Deer hunting, elk hunting, sit down, be patient.
Your eyes can cover a lot more ground than your feet can.
Yeah. I mean, how many elk have we seen already today, and deer? I mean, you just see tons of game.
Yeah.
Use the same tactics for elk hunting for sure. Get to a high point and find them, sneak over and Fill your freezer. You guys having fun? You guys just get to run around and hang out. Go chase prairie dogs. As soon as we got to our new location, we set up and it wasn't even 5 minutes and we were glassing bears. There's a bear right over there. You see that, Chris? Right up that bench right there, right by that green timber. That's an illegal bear. There's a cub punking around over there. Oh, there's two of them. Two, babe. Look at them running to mama.
Yep. They're shorter than the balsam root.
My buddy Chris jumped in with us that time. We were up there looking for bears and we found a beautiful sow with 2 cubs, all chocolate bears, just fantastic. It was amazing to watch them run around on the hillside like that. Montana's a different state. We're not like most other states around here where you can actually bait bears. In Montana, it's a true fair chase spot and stock hunt, and it is illegal to harvest a sow with cubs, as I probably wouldn't do anyways. But we saw this beautiful sow with 2 cubs and were able to be up there on the hill and watch her for a couple hours as the sun went down. It's pretty neat. We've been sitting here watching her now for about 15-20 minutes, and that's what the hunt's about for us, is just getting out here and being able to enjoy it and see these critters.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by Shedhorn Cellars, Bog Pod, and Nanook.
It's evening 3, just got out here setting up. Got a storm coming in, it's rumbling in the background, but gonna sit here and see if we can get a bear coming across these opens. Hopefully a good boar comes cruising through here and gives us an opportunity. The Slumberjack makes an awesome little tarp, fits right in your pack. Real quick and easy to get set up, so. Well, just had a little rainstorm come through. You can't stay out here in glass, you can't find bears. It's nice to have a dry spot to sit and wait the storm out. In these spring hunts, you get to go through all kinds of weather, from rain to snow, beautiful rainbows, wonderful sunsets, and that's what the hunt's all about. It's about getting out there with good friends, your children, and just enjoying the outdoors. The spot that we saw that beautiful sow with cubs, we kept watching that area because we knew there was bears in that area, and we saw her about 3 different times. Well, spotted our sow with a couple cubs again. She's just kind of hanging out eating. Beautiful bear. This is why we get out in Montana in the springtime. The best part about bear hunting, it's a lot of glassing time, so I was able to bring my little daughter up there to come hunting with us and show her what it's all about, to run around the wall tent, hang out by the campfire, and be able to look for bears. So you see the bear? What color is it? It's on top? What color is it?
Pink.
Pink? Well, I've never seen a pink bear before. Did you know that?
Ava, I like hunting with you. You're fun. You know that?
It's the last day we had to hunt, and we were just about to give up, and we glassed that same chocolate sow with 2 cubs. It wasn't even 5 minutes later we finally glassed an animal we could get after. It was a black bear that was 3-year-old bear, wasn't a real big bear, but by itself, covering ground, and we knew we had to pack up and get after it.
Montana Full Circle is brought to you by these fine sponsors. And Bitterroot Brewing. After the hunt, enjoy Montana's last best brew.
Well, we just glassed a bear. There's some forest access, but there's actually some private access. And it's nice with Onyx Maps, you're able to pull up who it is. I knew exactly the property owner. I actually know him from doing some work for him in the past. Asked for permission, and we got permission to get easier access to where we need to get. So this bear was cruising that way. We got to hustle down, but that bear's moving, and I hope we can find him again. Pretty open slope. It looked like an average bear. It doesn't look like anything real big, but last day of the hunt, last evening, I mean, we got 2 hours of daylight left. So it's now or never. This is kind of how it happens sometimes at the very end of the hunt. It was a steep hill heading up. We worked our way up as quick as we could trying to get up there. And when we got up there, we were glassing around, moving slow, and once again, the bear disappeared. When you're glassing bears a mile or 2 away, it's one of those, by the time you get over to them, they can be a long ways away just depending upon what they're doing. And this bear was cruising for fawns and calves, and he was covering ground. When we got up there, he was nowhere to be seen. But to me, bear hunting in the spring, it's not about getting out there and just harvesting a bear or doing anything like that. It's about getting out there, looking at all the flowers, enjoying the spring rains and the rainbows, and sitting there and just enjoying good company, sitting there behind binoculars, watching deer, watching elk, watching the bears, and just having a great time.
Venison broads. If you can find the species you're looking for when you go hunting, you find it. Whether it be mushrooms or it be bears or whitetails, mule, it doesn't matter. It's like as long as you're seeing what you're looking for.